very good. So
Yep.
thank you so much for again sponsoring Campus Legends, and not to mention our PC partner Legion. So I do have a keyboard here, the KM300 here. So it's a keyboard and mouse kind of combination. And if you guys are interested to win this, stay tuned to the stream to find out how. We've been giving, I think, a set of these away every week so
Yep.
far. This is your second last week to win one, if I'm not wrong, because we still have another week of tournaments next week, which is the grand finals. But this is the second last set. So if you guys are interested to win this, stay tuned to the stream. We will give you guys sort of information and instructions on how to win this. But for now, let's take a look on your screen. It's going to be our first matchup for today. It's going to be the quarterfinals. And to remind our viewers, all quarterfinals will be played concurrently, but we're taking a look at SMU versus NUS. So hopefully you have that graphic up. There you go. We're kind of joking about this, how, the NUS team, they aligned all very nicely in height, but SMU, they didn't like really glue our bars properly. So
I
one person is
know.
just a bit too tall.
It's,
Yeah.
I, I, I'm sorry. I can't add on to more
Mhm.
any more to that. It's just that it's funny also like catches me off
Yeah.
guard just because everyone's nice symmetrical,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then you go to SMU.
Mhm.
It stands out so
Yeah.
much.
I mean, you are a tall guy-ish, right? You're kind of
Ish.
tall.
I'm
Yeah.
average. I'm
Yeah, okay,
average
yeah.
height.
So is this a tall guy problem? It's just like,
I think so.
it might be a tall guy problem. You know what?
Yeah.
It's fine. There's nothing wrong with being extremely tall. In some countries, anyone shorter than a certain height is tends to be just like, I wish I was taller, but
Yeah.
now it's fine. It's fine. On your screen, you saw NUS versus SMU. What is your take on this? I mean, we have one of our colleagues, Raiko, who's going to be playing for NUS. He's been like, sort of the brains behind the team, the captain, the drafter, going up against SMU. What do you think are their chances coming in?
I think actually they have a very good chance of defeating SMU.
Okay.
The main thing which they actually have to do is not make the same mistakes they did against NYP,
Which
and
is?
which is play to Reiko.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, don't play. I think I came out wrong, and I mean to say
Mm.
you have to play to Reiko. He's
Okay.
the best player on their team. Give him like a carry champion where
Mhm.
he can just take control of the game
Right.
and just let him loose.
Right. So the idea here is one of the win conditions being, get Raiko ahead, put him
Yep.
on a carry champion, maybe someone that can split push, control
Yep.
the map from that position,
Yeah.
and then you'll find a bit more success there, as opposed to putting it on something like a Orn or God
Or
forbid a Mundo,
oh no.
Yeah,
Oh my
that would be
God.
a big move
No.
coming in, right? So I guess you identified one of the win conditions for NUS, whereas SMU, they've had a tough run all the way through, and when we take a look at their groups, I think between them, TP and NUS, all three of them were tied 4-2. Yes, they
Yep.
were tied 4-2 towards the end of the season.
I think no. SMU is from
Oh,
Group A, right?
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, excuse me. Wrong group rather. But yeah, NUS rather is third in the group. SMU is second rather in their group. Right.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a battle between second and third, and I think for NUS to come out and actually come out ahead and have your vote is quite an interesting thing to see, because they didn't actually place higher than SMU during their actual group stages.
Yeah, and also like SMU actually, when you watch all the matches, right?
Hmm.
A lot of their drafts revolve around team fighting, and
Right.
they actually do it really well.
Okay.
So if you're able, like, and for NUS, right, they all normally had Reiko on some kind of split push or
Mhm.
some carry
Like
champion,
Fiora. Yeah.
Fiora, right, and they allowed him to take create pressure on the side lane and then draw them away and created less like team fight like occasions.
Hmm. So the idea being, Reiko put him on split pusher, don't allow SMU to team fight. Maybe you find a bit more success there.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see that for NUS coming in. Players should be in lobby, so we should be ready to go into picks and bans, hopefully very soon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
But before we do go in, I do want to mention that we have this, weekly thing coming up. Every Saturday, we want to give away one of these awesome keyboards and mice combos, the KM300. So I alluded to this earlier, but if you guys are interested and still want to win more, predict the winner of the next match, #Legion, and the team you think will win. If you are, listening to Lemming Messiah and you believe that NUS is going to take it, something like NUS #Legion would be a good way for you to stand a chance to win this, and our admins will be in touch if you are selected. And if you miss this game, there are two more best of threes coming up for today, so there are multiple chances for you to walk away with this KM300 keyboard and mouse combination.
Yeah, I think like the main selling point also is the fact that for all gamers,
Mhm.
somehow RGB
This is true.
is just everything,
Mhm.
right? You go to cases, all the gaming cases now, all RGB.
Yeah.
You go to keyboard and mouse, RGB.
Mhm.
Also, I've been like looking at like monitors, right? Some of
Mhm.
the monitors now have RGB on the side. I'm just like, oh my god, why?
RGB monitors feel like they defeat the purpose because like they're supposed to be very
Yeah.
utilitarian, right? You just look at
Yes.
it, but imagine all the lights everywhere. That is how you get astigmatism, my friend. That is how your astigmatism goes up to like 300.
Yeah,
It is a tough challenge to be a
Yeah.
gamer, right? Pro gamer problems.
Yes, programmer problems.
Right. Players should be loading in soon. If anything before that, we talked about this matchup quite a lot. We talked about how NUS wants to get right go ahead. You know how SMU wants to be drafting a team fight composition in this particular patch. And any picks you've been noticing? Anything you want to highlight before we go into game?
So if you've been watching the LCS and also the LEC, right,
Right.
you see actually a lot of teams are now trying to prioritize Tom Kench
Mm-hmm.
in the top lane. He is just such a good tank
Mm.
and initiator, and like he's actually like taking over a lot of matches. Right,
Right.
he's no longer just the support.
True.
He is able to go into lanes, especially top lane.
Mhm.
He can also be flexing into mid lane as well,
Okay.
and he can just stay there. Like, he won't lose any matchup unless it's like some carry,
Okay.
right? Like maybe Lucian or
Well, to be
Wait.
fair, most Lucian matchups in top lane are just like this guy has no soul.
Yeah.
He's playing Lucian top. What's wrong with him?
Yeah, true.
Happens to me in solo queue all the time. I see Lucian top. I'm like, here we go again. But speaking
Yeah.
of here we go again, ladies and gentlemen, we are into draft, and it's gonna be SMU on the blue side and US on the red side. Riven is gonna be the first ban out here coming in for NUS. Meanwhile, SMU they've decided to ban out the Camille.
Yeah, I think also just to point out very quickly,
Mhm.
it's not Reiko playing.
Yeah.
It's Kimity.
Okay, so
Yes.
maybe just coaching from the backlines instead.
Yeah.
Trying to give them a bit more. What would be the best way to put this? A macro information, helping them observe the game and fixing any issues that they have. But this
Yeah.
might change the game plan for NUS.
I think it will, and also it allows him, I think, just to watch how SMU plays. Maybe he'll sub himself into game 2, right? And then he can learn. He can watch the game, learn from how SMU plays, and then he can come in and take over. if
This
need
is
be.
again to remind our viewers a best of 3 series. So game 1 could be a testing sort of phase for NUS. Maybe they want to find out how SMU plays, and then, like you said, sub in Raiko in game 2. They could very well do that as the bans are still coming in. It's going to be very top lane focused here, come from the side of SMU. The Jace, the Camille, and the Fiora banned out. Meanwhile, Riven and Aurelia and Tom Kench
Yeah.
being removed by NUS. So you called that the Tom Kench a big problem for a lot of teams. Being highlighted in LEC and LCS, now being banned out by NUS. But first pick Gwen, are we really surprised?
Not really. I mean, like she got a little bit of a nerf,
Mhm.
but it's not really that substantial, right?
Mhm.
She can still take over the game once she gets like 2 or 3 items, and she just becomes unstoppable.
True. And I think her dueling power is something that teams tend to, underestimate in the
Yeah.
late game. She's
Yeah.
very good at holding her own in 1v2, 1v3 situations. Speaking of dueling power, the response pick from NUS here is Renekton Nidalee. I do like this. Renekton solo lane, we're assuming Nidalee jungle.
Yeah.
Good mixed damage, very strong dive potential on the Gwen as well.
Oh.
And SMU here, they instantly pick up the Darius and the Leona. So a bit of cheesy shenanigans, on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, I think like this pick probably means that Gwen is going to go in the jungle.
Okay.
I think it's giving away a little bit. Like if they held the Darius maybe until
Like fourth, fifth rotation?
fourth, fifth rotation, they could have mind gamed them a bit more.
Mhm.
But picking Darius means it's probably going to be Gwen jungle.
Well, it's also to highlight that NUS have shown their own jungler.
Yeah.
So maybe they feel like, hey, the Gwen into Nidalee matchup isn't really the worst. We could take this and then still have a decent Darius into Renekton matchup in the top lane as well.
Yeah. I mean, also, see, Nidalee is not that great into Gwen because
Mhm.
as soon as she just throws a W when Nidalee throws like a max range Q, right?
Right.
Just like going to immune it. It's like I'm just going to walk through it. I know you can't hit me.
This is true. There is a lot of like counterplay, quote unquote counterplay
Yeah.
from the Gwen side to deal with the Nidalee because a lot of her skills are very unpredictable.
Yeah.
You can time your spells around it. Even just a simple dash, right, from an E.
Yeah.
Allows her to get outside or away from the vector of the spears. The Rel is going to be the third pick here for NUS while they ban out the Yon. And Kai'Sa is going to be the choice here for SMU, so maybe thinning down the mid lane and ADC pool a little from both sides here.
Yeah, I think I actually do like the SMU ban of Kai'Sa just because it is she's actually really good with Rel. Just being able to like Rel jumps in, does her
Magnet Storm? Yeah.
Magnet Storm. Everyone gets CC. Everyone gets a plasma stack.
Mhm.
She can just jump in as well, join in, and just start wrecking everybody.
Yep. It gives her the ability to just freely reposition the fights. Tristana also kind of does the same thing, albeit without the conditional plasma.
Yeah.
Can still jump in, so you can see that SMU's focus is on these AD carries that want to clean up the fights, want to be able to be very hyper-aggressive. And US, however, they respond with the Ezreal here. So Ezreal Rel in the bot lane, not something that I feel is particularly synergistic, although I could see some value here if Ezreal ends up, solo laning and Rel starts roaming the map a little bit more. There's some, aggressive potential there.
Yeah, and also like Ezreal is just he's a very safe pick, right?
Mhm.
He can stay far away enough from any like bot lane, and he can safely CS,
True.
right? And you see they got Varus on the other end.
Got the Varus here, they have the Leona, and they're hovering the Lucian. Now, we talked about this, we joked about this, the soulless players. This time it's going to be Lucian open pick potentially in the mid lane. And it's up to NUS to choose the matchup that they want. They get the counter pick here because we are theory crafting this, assuming that they've shown their hand very early on. The Darius, it's going to be top. It should be Gwen jungle, and
Yeah.
therefore Lucian mid by process of elimination. So Victor is going to be the choice here for NUS in the mid lane against the Lucian. How do you feel this matchup goes?
I don't really actually like this matchup
Mhm.
a lot for Victor, just because see Lucian has a lot of power, and he can just shove in Victor wave after wave after wave.
Right.
Right, and you need to just be very patient because he scales up really
Mhm.
hard in the late game, and you have to hope Lucian doesn't just run you over.
Okay, yeah, I think that's true, right? Victor with his curve wants to have a smooth early game into just a huge power spike once he gets
Yeah.
all his evolves. The same is true, right? The Lucian wants to punish early on. One thing we should note that is apparent right now is the fact that between Gwen and Lucian, they don't have the most crowd control, and neither does Nidalee and Victor. So this mid jungle is gonna be a bit of not as explosive as I like to be, right? I like
Yeah.
to see the junglers that come in like just like wham,
Yep.
hit you with a skill shot, and then the kill comes through. But
Yeah.
this time it's gonna be a bit more underwhelming, maybe. Whereas in the top lane, both the Darius and the Renekton have some variation of CC, so we
Yeah.
might see the junglers rotate to the top side a bit more as opposed to the mid side.
Yeah, I think like when you see a draft on the NUS side, right? When you see a old Renekton Renekton combo, which you saw last year,
Mhm.
right? Played so much into the professional scene.
Yep.
You're gonna see is very top focused,
Mhm.
and it means that the Darius has to play safe. He needs to have the ward up, and he needs to be cognizant
Mhm.
that he has a target on his back.
Especially because he is on blue side as well. So extending past the river is kind of tricky. It's kind of like punishing as well.
Yeah.
Granted, it would have been a lot worse if he was on red side because then you can come through the Tribush and gank him. But
Yeah.
still, needs to be cognizant, like you said, needs to understand where the jungler is going. One thing we also can kind of note or at least predict is the fact that because it is Ezreal Rel, we might expect to see the Rel just literally walk from bot to top, after first recall. Go and help the Renekton Nidalee lane out, maybe dive the Darius once or twice, try to get things going on the map. Ezreal, like you said, farm safely from range, has no issue laning into this Lucian Leona. It's really hard to punish the Ezreal, especially because all the crowd control from Leona is telegraphed.
Yeah.
You just arcane shift out.
Yeah. If you have arcane shift with a cleanse, right? You're actually pretty safe.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the one thing I also want to point out with Darius is if he falls behind, he becomes so useless because everything around his kit needs him to get ahead.
Right.
It needs him to be
Oh, at least even, right?
even, right?
Yeah.
He needs to be able to deal so much damage that when he does his skill, his ultimate, right?
Mhm.
He has to kill the person.
Yes.
And then do all his resets.
Mhm.
But if he falls, if he gets that consistent gank from Nidalee, right,
Mhm.
and he falls behind, he becomes useless.
And that might be a problem because this composition on a whole is sort of lacking in that kind of front lane tanky position, right?
Yeah.
For someone to just stand up and initiate the fight.
Yeah.
It's Leona, it's Darius, and if Darius falls behind, he doesn't really necessarily want to walk up, right?
Yeah.
He's just going to get deleted. So then how is your Gwen, Varus, and Lucian going to be able to do any damage against this NUS lineup? That's a very valid point. I think If I were looking at this, I would be very careful laning the top lane as Darius and just, pray to God that I don't fall behind. Maybe go even, take
Yeah.
the small L. Don't take the big L. Just take
Yeah.
the small L, lose a couple of CS, and still hopefully scale into the mid game when your power level is there. You're able to get, like you said, the Noxian Guillotine resets off. A lot of members on the SMU squad can get you to that point with a lot of poke, a lot of chip between the culling, the piercing arrows, and just Gwen's needleworks. You can get members to about 25% threshold very easily, and then
Yeah.
that's when the Noxian Guillotine is like cha-ching, get a lot of value off
Yep.
that ultimate.
And you just see him just jumping up and down with the giant axe,
Mhm.
and it becomes insane. And also, the one thing I also have another worry about
Mhm.
at SMU's comp is around neutral objectives,
Right.
right? When it comes to contesting them, like if they need to, if they come in second, right, there is almost no way they can initiate the fight unless Leona can just jump in, EQ, and ult somebody,
Right.
right? But there's also so much disengage on the side of NUS.
Okay, so walking in second to objectives is going to be a problem, but what if they were first, though? Because the setup looks pretty sick.
Yeah, the setup is sick. Like
Mhm.
they have to be first,
Mm.
right? They have to be first. They cannot lose any vision around any of the objectives. Otherwise, they can actually get punished pretty hard.
And thus we will be looking towards SMU to be controlling these chokes, arriving first to the objectives, and hopefully setting up for picks with the Varus, with the Darius, with the Leona. Otherwise, walking in is going to be quite a tall order for them against the NUS squad, who have
Yeah.
all the tools to really force these fights
Yeah,
with the Rel and the Renekton.
Yeah, relevant acting, and also like they have to also dodge. Like if they have no vision control, they have no idea where the Nidalee Spear is going to come in.
This is
And,
true, yeah.
Like if she also gets a little bit ahead, right,
Mhm.
and she has Night Harvester, like she's gonna chunk you out. It's gonna be so messy, and like you also don't have that much like innate healing.
Hmm. Or anyone to sit in the front
Yeah,
line.
and you sit in the front line.
If it was like again, God forbid, a Mundo or
Yes.
they sit there, they tank the spears, they're okay. But Darius doesn't want to get chunked out before the fight.
Yeah.
Neither does Leona because both of them are going in, right? They don't
Yeah.
have this like indirect engage tool or any sustain inbuilt into their kit to just kind of soak it all up. So that could be troublesome going in. We have to see how SMU plays around these objectives. NUS, however, looking to be the favorite team according to my co-caster right here. On to the riff we go. NUS on the red side, SMU on the blue side. This is game one of our best of three quarterfinals. And remember that all the quarterfinals are being played concurrently right now. By the end of this BO3, we'll find out who our semi-finalists are. If you guys are still in chat, maybe there's still time for you to vote who you think is going to win this BO3. Vote your favorite team, hashtag Legion, and stand a chance to walk away with the KM300 keyboard.
And if you just look at it right now, I know in the past
Mhm.
I've been saying, oh, look, they look as though they're doing safe, right? They're
Yeah.
not trying anything cheesy, and I've been wrong almost every time.
Right.
But
Seems
It
like
looks like-
you're right this time, I guess.
no, but if you look, is Leona might do something? I don't know. She's sitting there with with the Varus. They might do something.
There's no real information of this Leona here, but
Yeah.
they do spot the Ezreal out as No Chat is gonna rotate to his blue buff. We should see Mossy and Spectre give him a slight leash to start this one out. And the same is true on the other side for SMU. Gwen is gonna be beginning on her red buff, and the jungle ADC, the support ADC duo will be giving her hand as well.
Yeah, and it is. I think it's a bit expected, right? She Nidalee can clear really efficiently,
Mhm.
but she does need a little bit of help, especially on the level.
Like level 1, right?
Yeah.
Level 2's achieved already here for No Chat. Immediately moves over to the Gromp. Meanwhile, Gwen is going to start on the Krug. So it seems to be a similar kind of mirrored clear on both ends from the junglers. They will be looking to full clear one half of their jungle and then maybe move to the opposite side. Top lane, no real action just yet coming in from Kimothy or Foxco. They're just looking to get their level 2s first, and it seems as though, ooh, that's a nice tag coming in from the Darius. Gets the heal off. Apply some bleed stacks, and level 2 is going to be picked up here from IC first. They are zoning the Ezreal Rel lane away. Oh, cheeky clear on the ward as well.
Yep.
And now level 2.
And like we see, our solution is getting a little bit of a ward down on the. I think it's the Krugs. No, not Krugs.
Enemy Raptors. Yeah.
Raptors. I know why I always forget that.
And you will see the Nidalee here, so he knows that he can play a bit more aggressive if
Yeah.
he times it well. Right now, he did start with the longsword and refillable potion, so not the Durance and or corrupting potion that we normally see. Grass grower, meanwhile, holding on to a couple biscuits, or one biscuit, and a corrupting potion as well. This
Yep.
is a very slow early game, but SMU
Yeah.
are actually finding these leads via
Oh.
the lane as Timothy is going to have to be careful here to apprehend
Oh.
in the mech stacks on the bleed. The slice and dice out. Foxco could go for the flash if he wants to, forces the flash away from Timothy, and now the junglers are going to get into a bit of a spat around the tri-bush. It's a big wave. No Chat might want to be careful as he forces the flash away from Foxgo. Another auto might just do it. The heal coming in is clutch though, as now they've overextended, but the rip buff is going to give them the first blood, and now the Gwen is in a whole world of pain. She flashes forward, she dashes forward, she snips him down, it gets the double kill, and SMU strike back on the board with two of their own.
Oh my god. This is the one thing you don't want to see from the side of NUS. Like, Gwen getting fed.
2-0 and 0.
Yes, 2-0-0. She's not going to race towards her Riftmaker.
Mhm.
Like, just her key like item. Just to make her just so much more tankier and so much insane healing, like in any extent fight.
We'll be able to pick up the top Scuttle Crab as well, now level 4. It's Snip Snip doing God's work here, just cleaning up the objective. But the upside here is No Chat is going to be able to pick up his Scuttle Crab on the bottom half of the map. He is down quite a bit though in terms of overall gold because of the 2 kills for Gwen. So, like you said, moving towards the Riftmaker should be the natural choice. No Chat, however, picking up the early boots of Lucidity coming in. NUS, they are behind, 800 gold. SMU starting out strong in this game 1.
Yeah, I mean, like we said earlier, right? Their top lane focus is going to be for both teams. And DC, both them pat up top. I think there's a lot of like aggression from No Chat because he saw Foxicle I think he's like quarter health. And just came in, jumped in, tried to get the kill. And Gwen had to follow. And she was also much healthier compared to the Nidalee.
This is true. Managed to get a lot of the healing off, was able to really just pick up the rotation there as we see Nidalee being spotted out. No Chat was caught by the ward there, so they will be able to see where this Nidalee is, and that gives a small window for the bot lane of SMU as well as the jungle and mid lane of SMU to play extra aggressive. You can see that Keynes is just literally walking past the river, pushing in Grass Grower, knowing that, hey, Nidalee's bot side, you know, it's completely fine for me to just push in. I have the backup of the Gwen as well, and now they're going to spot out Nidalee once again, I believe. Nope, just barely tagging her, but we'll spot that ward there in the bush.
Yeah, and like this is, you were saying earlier that the Lucian started with the longsword and the refillable potion, right? This is actually just so that he can more quickly get his mythic item,
Right.
take over the lane much quicker, right? If you don't have the corrupting potion, it's a lot. I mean, it still delays your build, but it allows you to sustain in lane more.
Yep.
This is much more. I want to win lane. I want to just punish you as much as possible.
I think he wants to hit his first item spike as quickly as possible, like you said. Should be the Gale Force here coming in as we see Mossy in a bit of trouble. We'll be able to walk away from this trade.
I mean, it is also. I think everyone's just gone back to farming now. They are signed in. Oh, was this something? Oh
No Chat, he makes a visit to the top lane. This is a big wave pushing in. Meanwhile, skirmish on the bottom side. You can see that Arcane Shift has been forced out from Spectre already. This is going to give the lane priority to SMU, and they're just going to shove in and back off. Look for their first buy coming in as well. It's 61 CS to the name of the Varus, and he hasn't picked up a single item, so that's a lot of money in the bank.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. It's like, look, he's almost. Oh, he's gone back. He's gone now. The first key components he needs like to start taking over the lane now, I think.
Serrated Dirk and a Tear picked up.
Yep.
Those are going to be core in shifting towards, I believe, the Manamune and potentially the Dust Blade here as we see the junglers once again face off inside the river. No Chat has already used that pounce across the wall. He's going to use it again to get out and pop the Squire's Bloom to spot out the Gwen. But there's nothing that NUS can really do about this objective control. They're just going to have to give this one up.
Yeah. The one thing that's very curious for me is the jungler on the side of SMU went for a recurve bowl.
Oh, hold on. Ghost being popped. You already see the Dominus out as well. The Noxian Guillotine immediately executes him before the spear can come in. And No Chat can do nothing but watch his top laner die, and that's super unfortunate. I mean, you have to think that SMU was just right on the money there, and US might have timed the play wrong.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to be not Darius reached level 6. He has that insane ult that if you get him low enough, you're just going to start winning the lane.
Yeah.
And
Culling comes out in the mid lane, actually chipping Grassgrower down very low, but he's able to sidestep away. Still has a flash on this Victor, and well, flash is available for Canes as well, so neither of them are really going to go for that all-in. But during that skirmish, this gives No Chat the window to start up the Rift Herald. He's in a lot of trouble though, because level 6 is already achieved by that Gwen, so this immediately forces him away. There you can see the interaction like you talked about. W into the spear, but reinforcements are here for NUS. The boys in red are just running in now, looking to stop this Herald being taken away by SMU. Likewise.
But this is definitely like SMU has the edge, right?
All
Like
four members here. They're
also
gonna be
much
able to
healthier.
finish this off. A flash apprehended to 2 members and a stun coming in as well. And US now, they have to scatter like the wind. Grassgrower very low, picked up by the Lucian. And the next to fall is going to be the Rel. 4 members of SMU punish the rotation from NUS. And No Chat, I think he was a bit too over-aggressive there, trying to sneak the Rift Herald away. But SMU recognized that and made the rotation to just come in and pick up the bonus kills on top of the objective.
Yeah, and like, see, if he was doing that without any priority from both of his solo lanes, he's playing at risk, right? But he should have they should have just left it, right? They couldn't get in and like take the objective. There was no way for him to do it, and he easily gave away 2 kills.
Giving those 2 kills away to, I believe, 1 onto the Lucian and 1 onto the Gwen. That is not what they're looking for, and now with Gwen towards the top half of the map, Timothy might be in some trouble. Forced to use the slice out, so they know that spell's down. The mobility is not there as the wave is shoving in, and now they can look for this dive. They have the ultimate on the Darius. They have the snip as well, and now they're going in for this play. The stun in onto the Gwen might just be enough for him to turn it around. A big call the Meek for the heal and the chunk onto the Darius, and SMU misplayed the diving. This gives the window to NUS to take the Ocean Dragon away.
I don't think they timed the summoners correctly, because Kimidi still had his flash up. He could just flash away from any of their apprehender or anything from SMU, and they got punished.
Speaking of punish, Arcane Shift used the very early Chains of Corruption and the Solar Flare repop. But the cleanse out with the flash is so clean from Spectre. He survives past the piercing arrow. No issues at all. Made that one look easy. I would have panicked. I would have blown everything there. But speaking of blowing everything, Kane's now in a lot of trouble. Going to get taken down by the Nilly. 1 through 3, easy as you go. Stuck in the gravity well. Another kill for NUS.
That was actually really good for the side of NUS. Getting the kill onto their mid laner, just accelerating him towards his, like upgrading his basic spells and making his reach that late game state much faster.
You want the Death Laser upgrade first, and then maybe the Siphon Power.
Yeah.
Move in towards those power spikes and hopefully feel good about fighting. The tricky part about Victor in the past was that you kind of have to pay money to get those upgrades, but now, you know, it comes with just being able to CS and be able to pick up kills. So he's moving towards his Luden's Echo right now. His tier stacking up pretty well too, so he's in a decent spot, but his counterpart, the Lucian, like you talked about, rushing the Guild Force. Starting out the longsword, immediately moves towards the Guild Force. Doesn't even need any, you know, kind of utility items beyond that. Just a pair of like free boots, and the Guild Force is in a strong power point, and now No Chat is in a bit of trouble. He's gonna find Fox go here, but won't be able to pounce away.
Yeah, that's a little cheeky invade from him. Just trying to catch No Chat out by surprise if he came for his Raptors.
Yeah, I think that's best case scenario, you get a free Ninly. Worst case scenario, you know, you lose a couple of minions the top side when you rotate. He's still going to be able to pick up... Oof, missing the cannon. A bit unfortunate. But I was about to say, he's still going to pick up...
in the background.
World Tiniest Violin is playing for him. Misses the cannon, but picks up the majority of the waves. So not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I think I was saying a little bit early. Oh,
Culling coming out again. Grassgrower is going to be safe from harm because that was a kind of awkward angle on that Culling. Has to be careful though as No Chat walks in. Hex Flash being channeled right now. They overextended past the river. This could be very dangerous for NUS. It's the Solar Flare. Nails him square on the head, but they switch the focus over onto Grassgrower. They won the victor so bad as now they turn back around with the teleport coming in from Kimothy. He's going to be in the center of this fight as the reinforcements come in for SMU in the backlines. Fox go falling very low. They turn in onto him with the Noxian Guillotine to kill him off. And now a snip to follow as well. The True Shot Barrage doing barely enough damage to kill off the support, but it's 2 kills for SMU as they bring in the scissors and the axe and get everything they need.
Oh, all the stationery is being used, man. This is, again, like, there was like a really puzzling like jumping in from No Chat. Like he came in, tried to maybe scare Lucian away. I can't really like rationalize that decision.
He definitely got a Dark Harvest and Hextech Alternator proc off that, but I think maybe just a bit too greedy as we see another piercing arrow. Those are starting to hurt. With the Dust Blade completed, those are starting to hurt. NUS now playing on this massive back foot, almost 5k gold behind as SMU take control of this game. No Chat again very greedy in the enemy jungle. Might just get spotted out here. He will in fact be taking this blue buff away with the smite, but will he live to escape is the question. Seems like the answer might be a resounding no here as he takes down, and that is going to be a 5-0 and 2 Gwen.
Oh man, and he also used his flash. That was that's tragic.
Yep. Now, the laser might do enough work though as the Solar Flare comes in. Grassgrower barely sidesteps away, but the Guild Force and the press the attack from the Lucian. One more auto should be able to finish him off, but he wants to do it in style, so he uses the culling to get the reach, and that is going to be 2 dead on NUS, and the mid-tier run going down for SMU as well.
Yeah, and first tower, and there's so much gold now in the on the Lucian, and it is going to be so much tougher for them now. Just losing that vision in the middle and losing control of now the jungle.
You talked about this in the draft, right? The idea that Victor wants to weather this early game storm and hopefully, scale up to the monster that he will be in the late game. It's not really looking like that's the game plan right now. If it was, it's gone completely out the window.
Yeah.
As we see a True Shot Barrage being shot out. 96 CS to the 120 of the Lucian, 119, right? With no items really to speak of. He is building into the Ludens, has the tier, but still missing that first mythic, right? All members of NUS are still kind of falling short of their power points. They can't really fight, and they're getting punished for it.
Yeah, this is the double ADCs on the side of SMU with both of them with their mythics up, right? This gives them so much power, so much control, and so much threat. Like, you just saw, like, he just did his E, did the Gale Force proc, did the culling, and it was just so much damage, and he flashed away, and he still couldn't do anything.
That Lucian is starting to become a bit of a problem as we see finally Divine Sunderer picked up for Spectre as the Solar Flare in, the flash to follow as well, and this is again a dead Victor. They understand the game plan. SMU here, just give the Victor as hard as we can in the early game. Don't let him play League of Legends, and he's not getting a chance today.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's 1-4 now. He's gonna fall so far behind. This is sad. Like, this is not turning out how NUS planned it.
And I've seen this before, right? No Chat trying to sneak away the Herald, gets forced out. Top side again, Kimothy getting focused down on by Fox. Go full bleed stacks now onto the Renekton, and here comes the follow up from the Leona, but no Solar Flare because you used in mid earlier. The Zenith Blade being thrown in the opposite direction just for a little bit of taunt, maybe.
Yeah, I think also, like, he knew if he actually connect with that, he's probably gonna die.
Yeah. Maybe not go in under the tier 1.
Yeah.
Maybe not the tier 1. But you know what? They will be able to pick up the Herald here. The teleport in is kind of interesting though because Grassgrower, he doesn't have his items just yet. They can force this with the Magnet Storm. They get the stun onto the Leona. Not really the ideal target. Exhaust onto the Darius as the True Shot Barrage goes wide between the posts, and now the turn comes in from the members of SMU. Lucian is here. Gwen is here. They're ready to play. They've got the guns. They got the scissors. They've got the axe and the sword. All weapons accounted for as they get the kill onto Grassgrower. 1-5 on this Lucian. Not having a game at all, Johan. This is turning out to be quite disastrous for NUS.
Oh, SMU is really turning into the real landscape.
Landscaping company.
Landscaping company, yes, thank you. I'm so sorry. I pushed that so hard. I tried to make a joke.
I don't know what landscaping company you use. I've never seen someone cut my hedges with 2 guns before, so I'm just going to put that out there.
I mean, look, they have giant shears.
Yeah,
right?
giant shears I get. Maybe a big sword, I get an axe too for felling trees. The guns, not so much, right?
I mean, maybe like a nail gun.
Nail gun, okay.
I don't know where you use a nail gun.
Riot, please, nail gun Lucians, some skin ideas there. Okay, all seriousness, all jokes aside, rather, on a serious note, what can NUS do here to come back? Because it feels like this 8K goal deficit might be a bit too much for them. This Victor trying to scale up, not even there, and Kimothy consistently taking these fights against Foxco and just
Oh my
getting smashed with the
God.
Noxian Guillotine, but he might have overreached here as the spear connects wide. The heal coming in again from the Darius spin. And now it's going to be Gwen coming in to pick up this tier 1 and potentially taking the fight, dropping the W, so she's so immune right now. Can still move over and use the needlework to probably pick up Kimothy and maybe no chat as well. Flashes in with the one more needlework and one more snip, gets the double, and there's no way she gets this triple, right? There is no way to give it over, and she picks it up. 3 kills in the span of 5 seconds. SMU just clean up that fight.
Oh my god. Oh, that was disgusting.
Make it stop, Johan. Make it stop. They're diving him under the tier 2. He's forced to cleanse a flash away, and now possibly the Quadra as well. Okay, we'll call it the unofficial Quadra. NUS getting the hit smashed in and snipped off by the giant shears of Gwen. This game 1 starting to look a bit like a whitewash coming in.
Oh my, this was this turned from bad to just so much worse, because Gwen is disgusting now, because she's now 11-0-2. She has like 11 out of the 16 kills. She basically has,
Look at the gold.
I know,
10K.
yeah,
She has
double of everybody.
Yeah, she has double of everybody, right? With some change to spare, but like she is basically worth 2 champions at this point. On the upside though, if you kill her, the shutdown bounty is pretty nice. It's a
If
flat
you can kill her.
700 bounty plus 300 gold, so it's like 1K, right? Again, you're right, if you kill her.
Yeah, if you kill her. But like, oh,
Piercing arrow in. It's gonna tag up Mossy, but No Chat is looking for a play again on the top side. Maybe he can find
Trying
the
his
Lucian
luck.
here. Throws the spear, goes completely wide, procs the Night Harvester, and that's gonna signal to Lucian to just get away from this lane. He does not want to stick around. You need to play around the Gwen instead. He doesn't want to overreach.
yeah. I think the one downfall of this team comp, right, is the top side is very early game oriented. Like they have to take the lead. If
Like between
they,
Renekton and
yeah,
Darius.
between Renekton and Italy. If they fall behind, they become like, I won't say useless, but next to useless.
Yeah.
Like, and they're all just sent around dealing damage, and if they can't deal damage, they're just gonna sit there and like look at you and be like, nothing.
Now, the tough part here is that SMU's siege is kind of lackluster. They do have a Varus with a bit more range, but the Lucian isn't going to do that good of a job just walking up and hitting structures. So they go for this play here, which is the Baron buff. They want to take this down very quickly, and it will fall very soon. It's down to 8K. It's been spotted out by NUS, who have put that control ward in. No Chat is around the corner. He's getting chunked out to about 3/4 of health, but he could come in for the steal if he manages to hit the spear. Now it's down, and here comes the teleport. They're jumping in with the Magnet Storm. A big engage coming in from NUS, but immediately deleted is going to be Mossy. Now they have to back off. They're looking for the re-engage here on the NUS side. Baron is going to heal up to full. They've denied that Baron take from SMU, but is that enough to keep them in this game? Because the Rift Herald mid was able to take down the mid tier 2. SMU, they'll just back off, they'll just reset, and Mossy still another 9 seconds, 8 seconds before he spawns back up. Might mean that NUS loses this Inferno Dragon as well.
I mean, it's starting it up now, but I don't know if they should do that.
Sitting in the center of the pit is going to be the Gwen. She's looking to just take this one away under the nose of NUS, and they're going to let her do it for free. Where is the punish coming in? She's going to smite it away, and now they're turning on to No Chat. He's falling very low. The first needle was out, and he's running the wrong direction, buddy. What are you doing? He's sacrificing himself for his team. As No Chat dies and Mossy spawns, NUS will lose their Inferno and possibly lose the Baron too, because their jungler is dead.
I think this is now, yep, if Baron is going to decide SMU, and this is just going to make the siege so much better than it was before. And I just feel bad now for NUS. I think they're all they're going to do is think about the game 2.
You might have to focus on game 2 instead, because once they pick up this Baron buff, it feels like the final nail in the coffin for NUS unless a Miracle Steal comes out. You can see that the Solar Flare is used onto Mossy as Baron is claimed by SMU.
God.
They're chasing him for kills. And Mossy is going to eventually tick down to the Ignite. That's a Baron buff. That's a kill onto the support. And SMU, all they have to do is just reset here. Possibly not get caught by the spear. Okay. No Chat's poke is still pretty relevant.
it is pretty relevant, but like they were playing fast and loose with their lives there. Like he was like testing his luck, and he just lost that flip.
Oh, and kill onto the Lucian. That's important. The gold going over onto Kimothy. 2-4-0 now. Meanwhile, you can see that.
The ghost was used by Gideris for.
I think he was like, maybe I can find an engage here. Maybe I can chase in onto Kimothy, but doesn't seem to be the play as Needlework has been used. The instant flash in. How confident is this guy? He's taking the fight towards no chat. It seems very confident indeed. As you see, the 1v1 forcing the flash out from Grass Grower 2. This is pretty much what happens when you let the Gwen get fed.
Yeah, and also, like as soon as he turns on the W, like Victor can't do any damage to him, to the Gwen at all, because like he has to stay so far away, so otherwise he's gonna die.
Yeah.
Right. And
do they even have anything to deal with this Gwen? It feels like beyond an exhaust. So hold on. Timothy now getting caught by Foxico. There are the rest of NUS arriving, but the Noxian Guillotine has already done its job, has claimed the kill onto Renekton. If they can get the kill back onto Foxico, it would be nice. Putting the money onto Spectre. It's a 1-for-1, but they committed a lot for that play. It's a Magnustorm and the death of the Renekton, and now they have to defend against the Baron up wave in mid and bot.
Yeah, this is just really tough now, because they're trying something against the Gwen. I'm not sure, and she can die.
They don't have Magnustorm. They don't have True Shot Barrage just yet. They will be able to chunk her out with the laser, but they'll still lose the inhibitor turret in the bottom side. Gwen still posing a threat, backed up by the Leona.
Yeah, but that's also like that's a 3-item Gwen.
It is a 3-item win. She is just walking in, right? Cosmic Drive completed very early on, and now she's taking a fight towards Grasscore. Look at the damage! What was that? Just blew up the Victor, and now she's moving towards the inhibitor. Is there anyone on NUS that can hold their own against her? A spear connects. It's going to force her away as the jump in from Mossy. We'll try to stay in the front of this fight now. No Chat looks to be the next to fall. No mana on the Gwen. This could be a window for NUS to turn the tides as the Nilly does go down. Eventually chased in though is the Chains of Corruption coming in from the Varus piercing arrow to foil. Kimothy is probably going to go down here as members of NUS fall like Fly. Spectre's the next one to go down. A flash in. A piercing arrow is not dodged away from. And the hail of arrows should barely allow him to live.
But I think this is just the end, right? Oh, they lose Baron, but I don't...
Gwen's still pushing.
Gwen is still pushing.
She has no mana for now. This could be a way for NUS to hold on at least.
I think, yeah, it is. They can hold on. They will probably lose their top lane inhib turret.
Look at the dash coming in. The Gale Force as well. Dodges away from the Gravity Well. Manages to toss out the culling to make sure the NUS are not able to jump onto the Gwen. But like you said, it's not the game. They managed to hold on, but their base is completely ravaged. There's nothing left inside apart from the Nexus, and it's starting to feel like NUS are... I say starting to feel. It's felt this way for the past like 5 minutes. NUS are on their last legs.
And there's also not that much they can do. Like, they just have to sit there, wait, catch the waves, hopefully get as much goal as possible onto their 2 carries, and maybe win a team fight. But it's also a big maybe, just because...
It is very conditional.
It's super conditional. I mean, on the other side, you're like, oh, it's not too bad. They have only 2 of them have bounties, right? But on the other side is a 16-0-4 Gwen.
Yep. 16-0-4, 4 core items completed. Riftmaker, Nashor's Cosmic Drive, as well as that Sonya's Hourglass. She is snipping them up quicker than Uniqlo's in-house alteration service.
Yeah.
Just gonna put that out there. As now they're gonna jump onto the Nilly, who's gonna blast cone away. The culling coming in finishes it off, and now it's a 4-5 inside the base. Can they hold this? NUS, the TPs are funneling in from SMU. It looks like the final push to come in. Kansas gonna dash away from that Gravity Well, and now they're looking to pad their KDAs with the Solar Flare. Big apprehend into 2. They're looking for the kills before the Nexus goes down. Another one falls in the form of Kimothy, and ladies and gentlemen, game 1 goes the way of SMU.
That was a disgusting game from the side of SMU.
And we can see why they first picked the Gwen in the draft. You know, they had a composition kind of built around making sure Gwen could, you know, pop off. And they played towards her in the early game when she was able to pick up those double kills. It seemed to be the starting of the end when we saw the double kills come in, because we were both looking at each other like, oh no, we've seen this one before. And US, they have to dig deep, because In game two, maybe they bring back, Reiko. Maybe they find some way to deal with the Gwen. But it seems like that game one, whatever they had in mind, completely fell apart.
Yeah, and I think if we just look at how the game like started to go downhill,
Mhm.
right? I guess from the top lane, if Nidalee and Renekton cannot get that
Mhm.
get their lead, right?
Right.
Get ahead of their counterparts, they fall behind and they become so weak compared to Gwen.
This is true. Yeah. A lot of times we just saw them nearly kind of relegated to sneaking objectives away, getting caught, and then they just lose the objective anyway.
Yeah.
So early to mid game did not go well for them. We'll see if that goes any better in game two. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll find out whether NUS can tie the score up 1-1 and force SMU to a tiebreaker game three, or whether SMU is just going to clean sweep their opponents out this tournament. We'll find out in a little bit. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are in the midst of SMU versus NUS in a best of three. It's one of our quarterfinals coming on to Campus Legends, League of Legends edition. I am Hungry Cast. Alongside me is Lemming Messiah. Just to remind our viewers, there are four quarterfinals that are going on concurrently now, by the end of which we'll find out, our top four teams and who will be in the semifinals. And then we'll be casting semifinals 1 and 2 later in the day to find out or at least determine our grand finalists.
Yeah, and I think it's that last game was. I think we thought it was going to be much closer than it actually turned out to be. Like once Gwen won that 2v2 in up and top lane, it was just like it just all downhill from there.
Yeah, I think the early lead for the Gwen allowed us to just control majority of the jungle. And we talked about the interaction between, Nilly and Gwen, right? The fact that Nilly relies on hitting her spears, chunking people out, and then going in to take the duel is something that Gwen has a response to. She merely just drops her W in response and is able to absorb not only the spear, but turn around and fight you inside the AoE. So that was a tough one. That was definitely a tough one coming in for NUS. We'll see if they have rallied in that short break. But for now, guys, we're going to bring up this QR code at the bottom of your screen. It is the QR code to directly download the Uniqlo app, so you can see right there. Scan that with your phone or any QR code reading device and download the Uniqlo app today and stand a chance to win an Aaron Blizzard mask as well as get $5 off your first purchase. We've been talking about this the whole season. We appreciate it if you guys download this because Uniqlo, of course, one of our proud sponsors here at Campus Legends, allowing us to kind of come in dressed casually. Normally we have to wear like blazer and everything, but they're like, wear the SUW, and the SUW fits great.
Yeah, and I feel like so narcissistic saying this out loud, but like when I was putting it on, I was like, oh, I feel fly, and then like immediately, like how sometimes you hear lyrics from like a song from a whole while back, right? And just finishing that sentence like fly like a G6, like that old song. I was like, how old is that song? Then
you're dating yourself a little bit, right?
I am dating myself. It is 11 years back.
It is an old song, but for the most part, we do look good. Like honestly, I do not look this good in real life. It's just Uniqlo making me look good on screen. So thank you again so much, and you guys should download that. And also, if you guys want to win a $100 gift card from Uniqlo, all you have to do is sign up for a membership, screenshot your membership number, and send it to the Skoga Facebook page or Instagram page to stand a chance to win a $100 gift card. Gift voucher from Uniqlo, right? I say gift voucher, it's basically just a card with $100 value in it. It could be in a giant check for all I care. It still has a $100 value, and if you guys want to win that, by all means, screenshot your membership after signing up and send it to the Skoga Facebook or Instagram page.
Yeah, but can you imagine like being that person who has a giant check,
like $100 giant check, walk into Uniqlo with a $100 giant check, like yes, I'm here to buy 600 pairs of socks or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's still $100 gets you a lot of like daily wear. I get a lot of my like plain clothes from Uniqlo, so $100 goes a long way. And thank you again so much, Uniqlo, for sponsoring Campus Legends and making all of this happen in this time of COVID. It's been tricky to say the least, and of course here at the studio we are practicing all the social distancing measures that we can, and trying our best to put on the best show even in this time of COVID. Players are in lobby right now, ladies and gentlemen. We should be going into Game 2 soon. Hopefully we will be able to jump into draft. Any predictions about Game 2? Expect to see something different?
I think if NUS is going to be very reactive, they're probably going to ban out the Gwen, or if they are going... I'm not sure about side selection right now, whether they are blue or red side, but if they're on red, they're probably going to ban Gwen away.
Okay.
Or if they're on blue, they're gonna pick it. They're gonna just first pick it.
Yeah, I think the Gwen is definitely a power pick here, but that also leaves up the Tahm Kench, I want to say. So there are some choices they will have to make, and thankfully both teams have had Game 1 to figure each other out. So the power picks, like you said, Gwen is definitely going to be in favor, and we might want to see whether Tahm Kench makes an appearance too. Let's jump into draft, ladies and gentlemen. This time it is going to be NUS on the blue side, SMU on the red side. So they could first pick the Gwen and leave it completely open if they want to, but not taking any chances with the Riven pick, banning it out first in all games.
Yeah, I think it's because like last week SMU played. Was it SMU that played the Riven? And
I believe
just
so.
completely like ran over the game.
And the response here is the Irelia, as we see Raiko is going to be subbed in for Timothy this time. So the big brain coach, caster, captain himself is going to be playing this game. Irelia will be banned out. Third ban, if is any indication from... fourth ban, rather, if is any indication from SMU, could be the Fiora here against Raiko.
Yeah, I think it's because it might just stay the same, right? Because last time they also banned the Camille and the Fiora
Yep.
to see whether they're going to keep the Tom Kent bench
Mm.
or they might ban the Gwen.
They actually decide to ban out the Lucian. So this forces SMU into a weird spot. Do we ban out Tom Kench or do we ban out Gwen, right? And I think through the draft, NUS have actually isolated champions that they feel have, threatened them a bit too much, which is the
Oh,
Lucian here and the Riven. So they will first pick the Tom Kench and leave the Gwen open, which might allow SMU to first pick it themselves. However, remember this. Game 1, they picked the Gwen jungle into Nidalee jungle. This time,
Yep.
if you open pick Gwen, there are a lot more possibilities. NUS can still kind of hide their cards a bit more and get the best matchup against the Gwen possible.
yeah, and also like Gwen is still very much of a flex pick. So I mean, they picked Diana, so it's highly
Again,
likely
yep.
that Gwen is going to go in the jungle, but she can still go top lane, and she's still pretty good there.
Well, I think, yeah, there is a lot of flex potential for the Gwen, like you said. But that might lend their composition to just being very AP focused, and they might be worried about just diving into too much magic damage as we
Yeah.
see them hovering a full suite of supports. First it was the Leona, then the Thresh, and now they're selling on the Nautilus. So that's gonna be a Diana Nautilus locked in for SMU. And US here, again, the Gwen left open. Could be picked up, could
Yep.
go into jungle, could potentially go into top 2 if they want to flex this Tahm Kench into support. I know a lot of people are like, well, Tahm Kench is best in solo lanes now,
Yeah.
but I've seen some support Tahm Kench too. It does work out pretty well. Instead, they're hovering the Lilia and they will instantly lock it in to give away at least what seems to be the jungle pick here for NUS.
Okay. I mean, they also have the Leona is now a good engage option. I mean, I think she's still pretty good into the Nautilus just
Yep.
because she can stay in longer. She has an innate resistance with her Eclipse, whereas Nautilus only has his aftershock and then that shield which
Yep.
he gets. So
It's a matchup that you think probably would be favored towards the Leona a bit more,
Yeah.
just from the resistances.
yeah, and also like there's nothing that Nautilus can really do to interrupt her Zenith Blade.
That is true. That is true. Nothing you can really do to interrupt the full combo. Once she's on you, she's on you, and you kind of just sit there or either dredge line away from the fight.
Yeah.
As we see the Kiana locked in here. So first game it was Lucian. This time it's Kiana for Canes, and a lot of AD focus and a lot of wombo combo coming in from SMU. AD focus in the sense of like the mid laner playing a lot of AD champs,
Yeah.
and wombo combo in the
Not
sense
a
of the
problem.
Diana, Nautilus, and Kiana as they ban out the MF.
I do not tolerate
Oh, then now
cowardice.
that is a curious ban. Like, I know MF is considered one of the like S tier picks for this patch just because like she's been left untouched and she was always pretty top tier, right? She was never great,
Yep.
but she was always good.
Like a stable lane.
Yeah, stable laner. And we also see like they banned away the Darius. Like they just don't want to deal with that in top lane.
It seems that because, or rather, my guess is that NUS on the blue side can afford to target ban because they are going to be the ones picking first. So
Yeah.
by target banning, they pretty much just open pick whatever they feel is ideal. This case, they ban out the Darius, like you said, and the Aatrox. So looking for a good top lane matchup here for Reiko is probably the order of the day, as the Malphite might just come in here as the top lane pick. The final ban from SMU was the Nocturne, so they were concerned about the solo lane Nocturne as well because Lilia was already chosen, so this time
Yeah.
it's Set that is going to be selected. Gwen is open,
Yeah.
Tahm Kench was picked up, so what do you fancy here if you're NUS? What is the 4th and 5th pick here?
I mean, Gwen is still a very good pick. Tom can be flexed in also into the mid lane.
Yep.
And he can still play really well into the Kiana because Kiana, as an assassin, you have to get ahead of your lane opponent, right? And Tom Kench is very hard to kill. Like, he has great health, he has his healing, it's just so much harder to kill.
Viego here, locked in. So again, we're still kind of
Okay.
looking at this flex potential between the Viego and the Tahm Kench, but my gut tells me this could be a mid lane Viego into the Kiana. Between the Mist as well as like the grass element from Kiana, there's going to be a lot of evasion, so the junglers might be pressed to actually get anything done in this lane, as Sivir will be the final pick for NUS, so they decide that engage potential from On The Hunt and the spell shield in lane is going to
Yeah.
be very valuable.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you don't have your Leona there to protect you, right? You can just spell like use the spell shield against either the Q from Nautilus or the I think even the E or even the alt.
Yep. Out probably being the most predictable one, I think. Like, you could time that perfectly once the depth charge comes out. And Ziggs, the final pick here, so we might just see a bot lane Ziggs, a mage coming in the SMU lineup here. Overall, this is an interesting draft from SMU, a bit unorthodox. So I kind of want you to break this down for me. Yeah,
it's quite unorthodox, right? But they're actually switching away from their team fight orientation. It's now a lot more pick oriented, just because of how Diana and Kiana is. Like they are not that great, or at least Kiana is not that great in team fights. She needs to find a pick. He can just like go and storm off ahead. And Seth is always just he's a good laner.
Yep.
Right? He's really good into most like tank matchups. That's because of his Q and his ability to deal percent health damage.
Well, this time, if my eyes are, or rather if my understanding of the roles and players is right, Reiko is actually on the top lane Viego.
Yeah.
And like you called out, it's going to be mid lane Tahm Kench against this Kiana. So you mentioned how this matchup is actually kind of, bad for the Kiana because she can't necessarily solo kill Tahm Kench. That being said, can she outroam him is the question. I think because of the changes to his kit, he doesn't have that quasi-global presence anymore. He's a very strong lane bully.
Yeah.
Can he really get anything done? Can he really set things up for his team is the question I have.
I am not entirely sure how he can still like set things up, right? He can be the first one in. He can use his W to just knock up anyone who happens to be close together during any checkpoints. And this actually would be very detrimental to Ziggs, especially, right? Because he has no innate escapes.
Oh, well, apart from Satchel Charge.
Satchel, right? But Satchel is you have to be in position and you have to have that like ready, and you cannot mess it up. Because if you mess it up, you could just launch yourself forward into the enemy team by mistake.
And even mid-air during the Satchel Charge, I think you could still disrupt the movement with a knock-up, right? So Abyssal Dive from Tahm Kench could be an answer there in that sense.
Yeah, and also just Lilia being able to just throw out her scroll seed, randomly hitting somebody, and then getting that sleep for ult is still really good.
My eyes are on Viego this game. I think Raiko is going to have to shoulder a lot of the burden, so to speak, for his team, in the sense that once he's able to get one pick off in a team fight, the possessions will just keep going and going because looking at all these kits, right, between the Nautilus, Kiana, and Diana, they all feel really good if you can just get a full reset off, right?
Oh, that is so true. And also, actually, I liked the Viego into the set matchup, right? Because everything about Viego's kit is percent health damage.
True.
Right? And Set doesn't really build a lot of resistance. He builds a lot of health.
The mathematically correct
set
set
mathematically
build.
set. Yeah.
It's just like what, full AD and then full health, right?
Yeah. So it just plays right into Viego, and he can just kill you so fast because of that.
Yeah, that actually is a very good point. And the fact that you have that certain level of evasion against the set makes it so difficult for him to really lock you down. Even when the jungler comes up, even when Diana comes up, apart from using her ultimate, they don't really have the hard lockdown in this 2v2, whereas I think Lilia kind of functions in the same without the ultimates between her and Diana. They don't have that lockdown pre-6, so this Viego should have a pretty decent lane. We'll see how this one plays out. Of course, if the set is able to just hit those square on face breakers, then this lane becomes completely different.
Yeah, and also if he's able to get a full haymaker out into the middle of everybody, other than Tahm Kench, they can just demolish everybody.
Their health bars are not as durable and resilient as the Tahm Kench is, because afterwards he still has great health, but true damage to Sivir, true damage apart from spell shield, true damage to Viego, true damage to Lilia, they're all very squishy in a certain way.
Yeah, and also as the Sivir, right? Do you really want to be spell shielding the set haymaker when leaving yourself exposed to all the other forms of engage from the team?
The upside is I could see a world where if Sivir is able to pick up a couple items and she just wins fights purely off ricochet because she doesn't have to be that close to the fight. A lot of the SMU side is melee-ish range. You have your Nautilus, barring the Ziggs, you have Nautilus, Set, as well as Diana. and Kiana.
Yeah.
Yeah, these four are they're required to kind of go into melee range, and
Yeah.
your Ricochet is going to be able to kind of slash their health bars if you are in the right position.
Yeah, it's completely insane. And also, just being able, and also her ult, right?
Mhm.
On the hunt, just giving that movement speed, right? It's just, I,
This is true, yeah.
it is actually like a great like form of engage,
Mm-hmm.
right? It just letting you catch up and giving you that extra like safety also if you happen to run away.
It's a good engage and disengage tool for NUS, and this one is going to be a bit of a 50-50 if you ask me. I tend to say that with a pinch of salt because deep down in my heart of hearts, I'm hoping that Reiko, our colleague, our friend,
Yeah.
is able to pull this one out. But SMU have shown in Game 1 they are no
Oh, they're
slouches. So
trying something new.
for the first
Huh?
time in a long time, aggressive moves coming in from NUS, and it looks
Oh,
like
no,
no defensive
Foxicle.
starts here. Foxco, he's going to spot them one out, immediately backing off. But where is the control? They don't have it. They will see the set retreating to his red buff. He's going to sit there for a while more. If they want to flash engage onto him, they can, but NUS just happy with the information, happy with getting that one ward onto the red buff and then backing out. Likewise, SMU, they are walking into the opponent red buff, trying to get some wards down. Icy and his compatriot, his support, is going to get two very deep wards down, so they will see if NUS do rid to Crux. Instead, for no chat here, he's still walking back over to the top side.
Yeah, it looks as though he's gonna go from top to bot, and it'll be the opposite direction for the side of SMU.
So the tricky part here is that we'll see no chat arriving once his clear finishes towards the bottom half, whereas the Diana is going to be ending up on the top side. Very different from what we expected. I thought we were going to see a lot of top lane focus, but this time it's just going to be a trade of power on the map. They will split sides. Grassgrower against Canes here. Moving over to pick up the elements, and every time he refreshes that, he gets a bonus on hits, so he's able to just shove the wave out and chunk Grassgrower out a little. Misses that one CS. Always a bit unfortunate, but here we go, level 1. Conqueror already proc for Foxco, but losing a lot of health against Raiko, who has the innate sustain from his passive, is just going to be able to get his Conqueror off too. He's going to pick up level 2 here off this wave, which is why he's shoving Foxco away.
I mean, like Foxicle started with the Facebreaker, right? So he doesn't have the Haymaker shield to help him. He doesn't have his
Q either.
Q either, like to deal more damage, right? So he needs to play like safe.
Getting zoned out of this wave, very tough circumstance for Foxco. We'll be able to pick up level 2 off these two minions, but again, still getting zoned out. There you go, finally getting level 2 as Reiko's going to drop the miss. Dodging away from another Facebreaker, level 3 now picked up. So we looked a lot at that top wave. Reiko has full control. We know he's going to be shoving that wave out, but he has to be careful because Diana started blue, path towards top side. There could be an opportunity for a gank here if he's not careful. Needs to drop a ward right now, but it's still on cooldown, so he has a couple of seconds. Instead, is going to go for a cheater recall. Back out and then come back into wave. Maybe no.
No?
Just puts the ward down and now goes for the cheater recall.
I think like yeah, I mean this is actually like just the best play for him to do right now. There's no point for him to stay there, leave himself open to that gank and to fall behind, right? Because this is actually like because it's a best of 3.
Yep.
They need this win because if they lose, they're out.
It is do or die for them
Yeah.
here.
Like SMU can take a bit more, like they have a bit more freedom in that sense, right? And like also like look at this, like Grasscar is just not worried at all. Like
He's just sitting in a wave. Like,
yeah.
if you want to fight me, I'll fight you. No
Yeah.
problem at all. Mossy now is going to be walking into lane, gets caught by the minefield as they see, I believe, the Lilia on the bottom half of the river, so they will not be looking to handshake that fight just yet. Meanwhile, the Diana takes her top Scuttle Crab away. In terms of farm and clear speed, it seems as though the Lilia is just a step ahead right now. And the bot lane of NUS is also a step ahead, with the traditional AD carry Sivir picking up a couple more CS than a counterpart. Jump in from Canes, tries to get the electrocute proc onto the Tahm Kench, but that Grey Health is going to keep him healed up.
The great health and also his Q also gives him I think I'm not sure of the percentage, but some percentage of missing health back.
That's actually insane. Like, these trades are not working out at all for the Kiana. Even though she's chipping away, even though she's autoing down on top of him, Within, between the Doran shield, the biscuits, and just the gray health, he is fine just sitting in this wave here, soaking up the damage and farming up. Meanwhile, first blood coming in. It's going to be Foxco that picks it up, but it may be a counter kill from No Chat to make his revenge felt on NUS. A 1-for-1 trade there, but should not have been the case for Reiko. He flashed out a little too late, and then he got caught by the damage coming in.
Yeah, I think like everyone always, as a person who plays a lot of set, everyone somehow misjudges your damage. Because like your Q does so much percent health, you can catch up to them. Your face breaker also does a decent amount of damage. And then the haymaker is just sick.
TP being used right now from both top laners, and it's Reiko actually that's behind in terms of CS. He's going to go in for another trade, level 5 to level 5. He's not coming out ahead of this. Another big face breaker into haymaker. And Reiko now, he might just have to back off. You can see that the Conqueror is fully procced for both him as well as Foxco. Meanwhile, mid lane, Grass Grower getting chunked out, but Grey Health again with the total biscuits of regeneration. It's going to keep him topped up.
Oh, this is bad for Reiko now because he's...
This lane is frozen, I believe.
Yeah, lane is frozen, and also Foxicle has his ult. Like, if he wanted to commit for the kill, he probably could have gotten it.
Things going from bad to worse for the top side of NUS. At least there is some respite here in the mid lane, knowing that he hasn't really died yet, but he's falling behind in CS. And actually, SMU across the board are taking CS advantages, right?
Yeah.
NUS here is trying to start up the dragon, hoping to take away that objective, but they have no mid prio, and bot lane, the TP is coming in from Icy, so if they can pick up this dragon, it'll be a very adventurous, a very bold take, but an advantage for NUS nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, Reiko.
Here comes the RKO into the Crescent Sweep, and well, he's going back into the mist. Maybe he'll be able to survive past this, hoping to get level 6, unable to really find it, and that's going to be the kill for the Diana on the board right now. Meanwhile, the counterplay comes in, going asleep, drowsy right now. The tongue lash into the hit coming in, and the flash out from Kane's. The Abyssal Dive isn't in range. He survives past the ultimate from No Chat. Kane's outplaying his opponents, able to survive by staying inside the grass.
Staying inside the grass, and also using it ult to stun both of them, like just giving him to also flash away.
That
it's
was
so
a two-man ultimate, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
just to open up the space. And SMU, they found all the windows of opportunity that they needed right now. No mana though, No Chat. He's going to get found out here. He's going to get caught in the blue buff. He's already tagged up, and now the dive in from the Diana. Reinforcements from Reiko arriving. It keeps No Chat safe, but it does not allow him to take the blue buff away. And even forces the rotation out from Grass Grower too.
Yeah. I mean, he had the shove, but this is getting really bad for Reiko. He's still not... he just pinged level 6.
It's a full level gap between him and Foxco. And we kind of talked about this, how Viego in this matchup generally has a pretty good time, able to do percentage health damage, able to just kind of trade well and potentially, take over fights with the possessions, but he's getting bullied out.
Yeah, he's getting bullied out. I think once he got chunked out, once he got that lost at first death, right? He just fell too far behind. Because even then, like, if I remember correctly, there's a giant wave there as well.
Yes, he was down like 20 CS, now he's down about 30 as Foxco is taking this massive CS lead. As also, at the same time, Herald has been started by NUS. They instead turn towards what could be a kill here on a Foxco. They land a lot of the damage, but Haymaker is not out just yet. Reiko very low, has to be careful about the Haymaker coming in. It goes the wrong direction, and this is a window that maybe NUS can take to punish. They clean up the fight with No Chat, and now the possession comes in. A bit of a misplay. I say a huge misplay.
Yeah.
Coming in from Foxco with that off-direction Haymaker.
That if he just put that in the right direction, that was actually a kill. He could have gotten a trade kill and possibly even the kill on Reiko as well.
He had the ultimate, he had the Haymaker, maybe just a little too pressured out.
Yeah.
Too many things at his disposal, was unsure how to play that fight out, and as a result, he goes down. Support's just trading here, but nothing really too much to be seen, as Reiko is going to be found by the Diana. Here pops the Black Mist, tries to get away, but he's getting swept out. Eventually, this is going to end as he's going to use the dash to open up some distance. The ultimate barely whiffs, just a millimeter away on screen. Would have guaranteed a kill there, I think, if they follow through, but thankfully, Reiko was able to get out of that play alive, and now No Chat rotating down to the bottom half of the map. does have the ultimate, does have the setup with the Leona. They're gonna pop the On the Hunt. They see them inside the bush. The Hex Flash is being channeled right now. They need to pick their targets very carefully. They're still hiding and lying in wait. As here comes the Death Charge. They blow up No Chat and doesn't get the ultimate off. And the Exhaust too to follow on to the Ziggs. Hopefully they pick this one up. It's a 1-for-1 and now Spectre has to run the last auto or the Dredge Line will finish him off, but he's able to kite this one out. Sidesteps the Dredge Line just for added measure.
The Kiana.
The Kiana in the Ignite follow through as well, and the supreme display of talent knocks Mossy into the wall, but the Ignite was enough to get the kill onto the AD carry. Here comes Grassgrower, hopefully looking to kill off his mid lane counterpart. A bit of a taunt, a bit of a dance. Canes should be able to shove this wave with the grass element and just back off.
That was really supreme display of talent from the Kiana. Just ran in there, did the Ignite, and walked off.
Knew the range, right? And because Ignite is true damage,
Yeah.
below a certain threshold, it's like, yep, this is a guaranteed kill. Don't waste any more time. Hopefully try to convert onto the Leona, but had no real support because it is still a very tanky Leona.
Yeah.
She does have a lot of innate resistances with the Eclipse, so it's a tough one.
I mean, and also you had the Tom Kench there. Like, I don't think Kiana can outplay them so hard to get the kill.
Bit of a lane swap coming in. Kiana was bot side, and this allows for the Ziggs Nautilus to rotate mid, clear the wave out, get some, hopefully some turret plates. They just want to throw the bombs down and rotate back, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, the wave clear from Severe just makes it so much harder. Like, both of them actually clear the waves really well, but Severe just does it from such a safe range as well.
Especially with the Noon Quiver too.
Yeah.
It is a tall order to match that wave clear in the early game. That's always been what Sivir excels at, right? There was a patch where like you play late game compositions because Sivir could stall the game out for you. Of course, they've nerfed that a couple of times in the past, but like she is still very much a good wave clear ADC.
Yeah. And also, like, I'm not sure we actually called it, but top lane for the tower's down. Like, first break went to the side of SMU.
Right.
And they're now, like, almost 3K ahead.
Almost 3,000 ahead. A lot of that localized goal going towards Foxco, who has completed his mythic item, and now Ocean Dragon is being started up by SMU. No contest here from the side of NUS, and it's going to be one dragon apiece. Ocean going to SMU, Mountain going to NUS.
Yeah, actually, that's a good decision from them, right? Because you saw them in the last game. They unnecessarily contested a lot of objectives, which they know they're going to lose. But this is good.
Now they're contesting mid tier 1 as the RKO comes in. He's actually immediately killed off before the Haymaker comes out, and now the Abyssal Dive plus the teleport from Reiko. The charge from the Herald is going to do some work as the Solar Flare follows through. They need to get this lockdown, and they will with the Zenith Blade onto the Ziggs, and he instantly pops, and now Reiko can come online with his ultimate, with the resets, able to chase in for the fight. They get the Devour onto the second last member, and now with the Boomerang Blade, it could kill off the Nautilus. A double kill being picked up by SMU on the way out, but they lose a lot. NUS, there was a good defense coming in. Is that really the TP you want to play? I'm not sure if that is the choice coming in. Foxico just TPs in the middle of the wave to try and keep the tier 1 alive.
A bit too hypey there from him. Like, it's
like, yes, I want to go back into the fight.
Let's go.
I've seen those situations before.
Yeah, but like, I think it was like what you said. He's trying to just deny them from taking the tower plates, trying to like get back some of their gold. And Glassgore is coming
in, looking for the acquired taste. Actually using the dash already. Keynes is in a lot of trouble now. Is forced to use the supreme display of talent, and the Abyssal Dive is going to knock him up. Doesn't really get the dash out in time. Will be able to stay inside the grass element, invisibility, and camouflage for a while. And the flash forward, the stun is there, the damage follows through, and I believe NUS should be able to pick this one up. The ring around the rosy. Alcove Gaming. Keynes is still hiding. He can't be found. He's juking away. He's able to get out. What is going on? This guy at his fancy feet gets out alive.
Oh, Blue Suede shoes on Kane's is too strong, man. And I feel so bad. They had the kill. They had it in their sights, but just too strong. Oh no.
RKO in. Does have the Haymaker. Times it perfectly when No Chat comes out of that stopwatch and is able to get the kill. Wasn't a big one, but it was a very proficient timing on that. And now Grassgore, 1v3. You might be Tom Kench, but I don't think you survive past this. Uses the Abyssal Dive. Is actually delayed out So he's not able to get the full channel off, and now he just has to stand and deliver the damage, but it's not there. Meanwhile, in the top side, Reiko finds a revenge kill onto Foxco. Did kill No Chat earlier, picks this one up.
There's a lot of just randomly getting caught out there. Like, this is...
Turning into a bit of a slugfest.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slugfest. But actually, that was a big mistake, actually, from Grasscore. He should not have been out there. As he knew, like...
On the hunt
Spark
coming in.
Finger.
Instant solo bolo from Canes with the Ignite. Not really respecting the damage potential of the Prowler's Kiana. I think that's something that you really do have to note, that the amplified damage coming in, 15% I believe,
Yeah.
is more than enough to one-shot you. And if you spell shield that, you don't have anything else to kind of keep yourself away from her main kit. So that is a big problem.
Yeah. I mean, there's actually nothing really much you could do. Like, you get jumped on by the cannon, you're just probably dead if you're severe.
I've seen this one before. Reiko getting chased through the black mist by the Diana the last time. Moonfall missed by a square inch. This time it's not even in range to look like it's gonna hit. Reiko gets out with the ultimate. Meanwhile, SMU are grouping up in mid with 2, just shoving the wave down. They already picked up the mid tier 1, so
Yeah.
that was, felt quite earlier.
Yeah, I mean, Ziggs makes like taking towers is so easy. Right? Once they get below, I think like 15 to 20% health, you can just W satchel charge and you take it.
Foxicle counter jungling, just making his presence felt in the top half of the jungle. Also creating space for his jungler to pick up the second Rift Herald here by pushing up super far. And by virtue of him being set, he takes quite a while to die. So
He
him being
does.
this far up is okay, I guess.
It's okay as well, and see, Reiko still hasn't really reached that break point as the Viego that he can start just taking over the matchup, at least. He still needs, I think, the one more item before he can start just becoming so much more powerful.
I mean, he's still trying to go head-to-head against Foxco. He's doing some decent damage as the Conqueror is up. Needs to dodge away from the Haymaker, manages to get out of the true damage zone, and he's taking this against Foxco. The RKO out, but I don't think that the set survives here. And Reiko, feeling a lot more confident with the Divine Sunderer picked up, is able to get the solo bolo.
Yeah, he's now 3-3-3. It's a really cursed number, but let's move on.
Against Canes, though, I don't know how he fancies his chances. He sees the Kiana coming in. She is going to miss the root. That's a big problem. And now Reiko could potentially turn it across onto the Kiana. Supreme Display of Talent is going to keep him stunned up, but he needs to get in time in range for the Blast Cone. And the Kiana Canes, he pops it to get out. From coast to coast, top side to bot side, Abyssal Dive coming in to knock up the Diana. She does have the Moonfall, but will not be able to use it as the acquired taste stacks are there. She dives back in once again, looking for an exit kill on the way out, but no, the Lilia picks up the shutdown. No Chat finally gets his revenge on the enemy jungler.
That was a lot closer than it should have been. I think NUS they're trying to give the kill over to the Lilia.
Yep.
I think at that point, like, just try and take the kill is more important. You don't want to just take that chance. She gets a return kill. Like,
She's kind of back in the game right now. Earlier had a bit of a tough start. 4-3-2, already finishing the Liandry's Anguish and moving to the stopwatch.
Yeah.
I could see a very strong kind of engaging style of Lilia once that's done. Get a good 5-man tag and then put them all to bed.
Yeah. I think the main problem now is, at least on the SMU side, is Ziggs is still, he's only 1-3-3. He's a bit behind. He needs a bit more time to get that Seraph's Embrace and Archangel Staff. So still need to wait, be patient about it.
I mean, he's moving towards the Ceres right now. If the components are anything, any kind of clear revelation, as we can see 3 members of NUS are in this top jungle. I'm not sure why SMU is walking in. They don't really have any vision. They're just hoping a 50-50 this maybe. The Facebreaker from Foxco keeps Raimi in place. Do they really want to fight this? The RKO into 3 members though, as Raimi is forced out and flash out. Reiko doesn't want to be here. He's going to have to back off, and he will die for his effort. So maybe a bit of an ego challenge coming from Reiko. Not really the best play to make as SMU now with the Herald. Will be able to knock down this top tier 2 unless the TP comes in to sleep onto 4 members. Oh my god, what a turnaround from NUS, and this is the fight that they were looking for. They're splitting up their targets. Foxgo manages to get out, and now onto the Diana they go. They managed to kill her off, and now turning onto Canes. It's already 2 members dead for SMU, making this the third. If Canes goes down, the supreme display of talent gets the silver on the way out. The center blade tags her down, but it doesn't matter. They're able to kill off the priority targets. SMU, they lose 3 members, but they pick up the AD carry and the top laner.
That was like such a messy and insane team fight, and I think they're just gonna get the mid lane tier 2.
They got mid tier 2, they got top tier 2, and now they're chasing onto Foxgo, who again was able to escape that fight, right? It's such a chaotic turn of events because these fights are so skirmishy. SMU doesn't necessarily want to like clump up for the ricochet, but NUS wants to, keep them all packed together. The start of that fight from No Chat with the Lilia's Lilting Lullaby was perfect, but I think after that it got a bit messy for NUS.
Yeah, I think like they saw the play in their head, right? I mean, it was a 4v5. The fact that they were able to play that so well and win that fight, this shows how good they are as a team. Like that, they could win that. And like,
Sarah's actually completed for Icy, so this is something you talked about earlier. Like the Ziggs doesn't have damage, you gotta wait for the items to come in. That's done now. Potentially moving into Death Cap next, I think, is the play.
Either Death Cap or the Horizon Focus. Those are like, generally like the items you can get. They might be doing something. Something tricky.
No Chat. He's gonna get spotted here. Walks away from the ambush.
Oh, he took the smart route. He took the safe route.
No greed coming out from the Lilia. Bambi will live to see another day.
No, but what about Grassgore?
Grassgore might not be so lucky. The Abyssal Dive is going to get him into the hands of SMU. The Grey Elf is there. The Moonfall follows up. He's going to be able to walk away from this one, I believe. Especially Raiko coming in, dropping the ultimate, and now they're turning on with the supreme display of talent.
He missed it.
Completely whiffing onto the prime targets, and Raiko is now the one who's able to turn around onto this Diana. Here comes the 6 ultimate for a cheeky steal on the rip-up.
That was a nice try. He's really trying to channel the Han Sama there.
Spectre gets it in the end.
Yeah.
And these fights are very 50-50 because it seems like every time they try to kill the Tahm Kench, this is something you identify, right? He's so tanky. He has so much pseudo health from the Grey Health shield that even dropping both ultimates and their full kits, they are still lacking damage.
Yeah. The Kiana has to go against the Vego now. I think as soon as she goes up against the Tahm Kench, right, she just can't kill him fast enough.
Foxco is actually the one going up against Reiko right now, and Reiko is coming out slightly ahead. Of course, we didn't really see the full extent of Foxco popping his RKO either. Now turning their sights towards the Baron. It feels like NUS are fully aware of this Baron being taken down. It's a 7k health. They might have to turn and fight this.
Oh no, but Lydia is so low.
Oh, the hook in actually forces the fight for SMU. They want to take this. The Devourer keeping the Leona alive, but the Death Charge is going to fall into Grassgore. This is a very tempting Tahm Kench though. Will still be able to take down the Catfish. Reiko now looking for the disengage for his team. Foxco leading the charge, backing off. Both teams moving, or rather SMU moving back towards the Baron. Both teams want to contest this. You can see that NUS is still trying to get mid-prio, trying to push up and potentially move over to the Baron pit as Canes is going to start with the supreme display of talent and instantly tries to pop the Lilia who goes into the stasis, and now she has to be careful. She's dead. There is no contest. The Baron is taken by SMU, and now they can take this fight as they turn around onto the remaining members of NUS. It's a slaughter. SMU chased in with the depth charge. The hitbox is there. Reiko, you're not making this one out alive, and now Spectre and Mossy are sure to fall soon after. The RKO for some spectacular effect, and SMU with the Baron buff will be able to push down mid.
I mean, that was an insane team fight from the side of SMU, but NUS should have just backed off straight away.
I think the contest was a bit greedy there.
Yeah.
Oh, still shooting the bomb.
Yes.
Grassgrower still has that great health. It's shields versus shields. SMU still with the siege.
Yeah, but like they don't have any mana though. They have to go back.
Icy has TP. He can instantly just and Baron Power Recall and TP back if he wants to. Right now, it seems that the call will be to move over towards this bottom half of the map and split it up. Maybe get the lane assignments down. Good smite coming in from No Chat allows him to pick up the blue buff. SMU with this 5k gold lead and Baron buff their items are starting to come online. You can see the Zonyas or the makings of a Zonyas for IC, and everyone else that is meant to do damage for SMU has already hit their item spike. Seroda's Grudge is the next pickup for Canes. Nasher's Tooth already done for the Diana, and Hysteric's Gauge plus Black Cleaver for Foxco.
I mean, he's pushing quite far ahead. I mean, it is just so good for him. Like he has 3 items. He's quite a bit ahead of Reiko. Like, he is just going to be a menace.
The problem in these fights is he's able to just RKO the Tom Kench back into the team, and I think that's something we haven't really seen all too much, but in the final fight was a big factor.
Yeah.
You know, Tom Kench being picked off early, and then allowing backline access with this set and his ultimate. It's a big issue. Grassgrower is going to clean up this bottom wave with the Frostfire Gauntlet. Has the Anathema's chains as well. Maybe that might be able to do something for him.
I think he probably used it on the Kiana just so that he can just focus on
Keeping her stun locked, I guess.
keep her stun locked, and also just be able to go 1v1 against her. And also, I do like the
Setting up for this play, actually looking to one-shot the squishy member first. Going to sleep is going to be the Diana, and sleeping permanently now as the RKO gets him out of the fight. Foxicle actually able to get a huge shoot off with the true damage, but Raiko picks up the exit frag. And now SMU, they're down to 3 members. Maybe Canes can be able to pick up this bot tier 2, but that setup coming in from NUS. Mossy and No Chat had that perfectly timed.
That was an insane engage from the side of NUS. It was that was a Hex Slash. That I don't know, that threw me off.
Yep.
But I think what I was trying to say earlier is actually I like the Black Cleaver on set just because he can just get all 5 stacks so quickly. And I think it's also I remember seeing it on Reiko, but I think my eyes were just playing tricks on me.
He's moving towards a bit more magic resistance, which makes sense because he's dealing with the Ziggs and Diana, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of the physical damage that he's going to be like kind of dueling against is what he's itemized for with the Tab Eyes, or new version of the Ninja Tab Eyes. So
The player steel
player
caps,
steel
right?
caps, yeah.
Yeah.
So for the most part, he's going to be okay fighting into them. All he needs to do really is just survive through the burst from the Diana and Ziggs, and I think he's doing a stellar job at keeping alive 5, 5, and 6. His team has been playing around him very well, and well, I think SMU are struggling to kind of close this game out, even though they had the Baron buff, even though they have the 5k goal lead. They've been getting caught out the past couple of times. They had some really good team fights, but to keep our eyes peeled on how they want to engage this, as right now it looks like the Nautilus is going to get caught out and bursted down, and this is going to be a 4v5. Raiko already possessing the Nautilus body. Has this secondary engage with the Dredge line if they want to go back in. It forced the TP out of Foxco too, so it's a TP advantage for the top lane of NUS. Raiko still looking for a bit more in the mid lane.
Yeah, but I think like they just have the control now over Dragon Pit, and they're just gonna take it. But I think SMU is trying to contest.
This is Soul Point, so both teams would want this. You know, it's going to be very important for both teams to collect Soul Point here and possibly threaten the Soul as the Mega Inferno Bomb comes in. 2k down is the Dragon. It's going to be taken away by NUS, and now the fight breaking out. Reiko already getting the reset onto one member of SMU. The fight is split, and now they're moving over onto Foxco. Mossy very low, could find the re-engage here as Reiko has already possessed the Diana. A big haymaker might just turn this one around. Foxico, he's still going on. He's got 2 on the way out, and this could allow for his team to come back in, but no, NUS shut him down. That was a best case scenario coming in for SMU. Foxico with the last stand, making it a 2-for-2. And now Reiko getting slammed into the wall by the supreme display of talent. Pops the ultimate, tries to get out, but gets deleted. And now Canes is on the hunt with the damage. Grassgrower still has the gray shield, gray health. Abyssal Dive is disrupted and now goes down. It's Fright Catfish for lunch and dinner. SMU clean up 4 members in that fight. And now they can push down the mid lane.
Oh my god, that was an insane fight. NUS won initially, they got the easy 2 kills, but then as soon as they went in to try and push mid lane down, Foxicle just cleaned them up.
I think there was like a 2-3k true damage haymaker.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they were all stacked up for it too, and you know, he didn't one-shot anyone, but he got them low enough that the Kiana was able to kind of just play around the edge of the fight, come back in with the supreme display of talent, and just clean up the fight. And now this second Baron of the game should go the way of SMU. No Chat is up. but he's not in a position to contest. He's walking down mid to get some prio. 4K down to
Oh, it's
2K.
definitely they're gonna lose
SMU
it.
they just burned through this Baron and picked it up.
It was just I don't think NUS should have gone and contested that. It was a good idea. Just maybe get some mid lane control just to push it down, but they can't contest. They didn't just don't have the items to do it.
Goal lead extended to slightly more than around 8,000 right now for SMU. And one thing we've seen from NUS so far is that they've been able to make these sneaky ambush picks, but when it comes to the full-on 5v5 clashes, they've just been getting their hits smacked against the wall by the Kiana ultimate, by the Diana ultimate, and between the Moonfall and Supreme Display of Talent, NUS doesn't really have a response here.
Yeah, and
Here comes the Moonfall again, forcing the flash out of no chat.
Oh.
He sends him to sleep, is able to walk away, has
What?
to pop the
Oh,
Zanyas
why?
because of the smite damage coming in, and maybe if they turn onto the Diana, they might have enough damage. Reiko now popping the ultimate, but perfect Zanyas coming in. Buy some time, Mega Inferno Bomb is going to only catch Grass Grower as Reiko uses the invulnerability from the possession to heal up. They find a pick on the Diana, and that's what NUS has been doing so well this game, finding picks.
I mean, yeah, they are finding those picks, but how they need to find ways to just go beyond those picks, go and take towers, take objectives, and it's going to be tough for them.
It is an uphill climb right now. Kane's pushing down the top lane with this Baron buff. It is very mobile. Is able to just kind of dodge across the walls.
Yeah, and also I do somewhat like what Kane's went when he got the Serpent's Fang.
Serpent's
Just
Fang
for-
after the Siroda's Grudge. Yeah.
Yeah, he just for Tom Kench.
Oh, it's not only Tom Kench, right? I think to a certain extent, there will be overheal coming into eventually, and the Locket is already a pickup for the Leona. So it's it's for everyone, but for Tom Kench specifically, you're not getting great health, right? So I think that's the value buy here against the Tom Kench, but it still has decent value across the team.
Yeah, even if for Reiko's the shield we
Yep,
which
the
he gets
Sterix Gauge, right?
Sterix Gauge, yeah.
It's a pretty big value buy from the mid laner of SMU. And he's been performing fantastic so far this best of 3, right?
Yeah.
First game on Lucian, really setting the opponent Victor behind.
Yeah.
Grassgrower was not able to play League of Legends. This game, 7-3-0, hasn't really made any major misstep. In fact, saved his team a lot with his ultimate in clutch teamfights. So all eyes on the mid lane of SMU to find another one as the dredge line lands, and they're looking for this re-engage. Mega Inferno Bomb onto 3. Here comes the move for a big ultimate in with the supreme display of talent in SMU. They want this to be over right now as they're forcing the fight again. A big haymaker onto No Chat, and 3 members of NUS down. With No Chat barely getting out, it's gonna be the Nexus turrets to fall, and the Nexus soon after, padding their KDAs, dotting the I's, crossing the T's. SMU will see you in the semifinals.
Oh my god, that was an insane catch from the support on SMU. Like he
He hit a dredge line, and he flashed in for the auto to hit the root, and then immediately went for the depth charge afterward to make sure they had the full lockdown. That's actually nuts.
that was that was some 5-head thinking, some amazing play from SMU's support, and I know it feels bad now. And now I'm not thinking it's Reiko, he's a colleague, he's now out of the quarterfinals. I mean, it's sad for NUS. I wish they had at least one more game out.
To be honest, I think they played their hearts out in game 2. Biasness aside, friendly rivalry or competition exists, and I think Reiko really did his best in that game 2, subbing in. Was able to hold his own against Foxical, and the rest of his team as well were able to kind of just pull their own weight, I think.
Yeah.
But those final fights, those big fights that mattered, I think, were what made the difference for SMU, right? We talked about this a lot. They were able to make picks, they being NUS. They
Yeah.
were able to make picks, they were able to catch people off, but could they really convert into anything else after that? The answer was a resounding no.
Yeah.
They were unable to get any objectives off it. They were unable to really punish the deficient manpower on the side of SMU. And SMU, every time they had 5, they knew, okay, we're not going to let them catch us. We're not going to let them pick us off one by one. We're just going to force a fight, either with the Diana, either with the Nautilus, either with the Kiana. Someone go in, someone start something, because we know our 5v5 is just way better at this point.
Yeah, and even though like the Ziggs also fell behind
Mm.
quite, and he wasn't as much of a presence as he could be, he still just did a lot of consistent damage, and
Mm.
also the Mega Inferno bombs just out of nowhere coming and just wrecking everybody's health bars. So it's just a good way to set up the Kiana, and I think just looking at the overall team comp, a lot of people just around to set up the Kiana.
Yeah,
Just get everyone low, allow her to come in, and just clean everybody up.
the Kiana was definitely a big factor in the victory there. And you talked about the Ziggs, right? I want to point out too, credit to the unsung player, but IC was able to consistently layer up engages with the Mega Inferno Bomb. So
Yeah.
if Nautilus or Diana started a fight, he would just throw that at the start to chunk them as low as possible to get them in the best position possible so that their health bars are like below 70%. Then
Yeah.
we can fight because we know we have the numbers purely off the health bars. We have the resources to take this. So that was really well done from SMU and congratulations to them. They'll be moving on to the semifinals. Commiserations, however, to NUS. They will see an early exit in this tournament. Of course, at this point during playoffs, it's do or die. And well, for NUS, they will be eliminated from the running.
Yeah, I mean it's always sad to see like a team just lose 2-0. Like
Yep.
I mean, as fans,
Mhm.
it's always good to see like a full
Oh yeah.
three matches. Like you see
Even
everyone
as a
like,
caster, are like,
yeah.
okay, now we're tired. Let's go third, right?
Yeah, I mean, but like it's sad just to see it sometimes, right? But it's always the time like they just got outplayed by SMU at every team fight, and the fact that that set got ahead so fast, so fast, like, and so early into the game, right? It sort of snowballed,
Mm.
and Kiana also she's also never really punished in anything.
I think at a point in time when she entered the game, I don't know, like 7-3 and 4, some insane scoreline. But
Yeah.
guys, with that, we will be going for a short break. When we come back, we will have our first semifinals up for you on your screen. Again, it's going to be a best of 3. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
A lot of my painting is about movement. I really gravitated to the circle, and from the circle came the atom. It's like the center of everything, the universe, our biology, all of it. The atom is constantly in motion. We're introducing active wear. It's the best way I can represent what Uniqlo